Imagine this. You're looking up at the night sky, the stars are shining. But then you realize, hidden in that light, there's a total stranger. Discovered at the start of July, 3I/ATLAS is now recorded as the third interstellar object ever spotted in our solar system. In other words, this rock, this comet, or whatever it really is, didn't come from our sun. It was born around another star, maybe from a system light years away. And that's the part that's truly mind-blowing. Because when we look at the sky, we see billions of stars. But for a piece of one of those distant worlds to actually travel all the way here, that's incredible. We've only witnessed this twice before. Back in 2017, there was Oumuamua, long, thin, and mysterious. It almost looked like a spaceship. Then in 2019 came Borisov. That one behaved more like a normal comet, but it was still a visitor from beyond. And now, our third guest has arrived, a TLAS. Scientists rushed to track it. Because objects like this are like time capsules. They can unlock secrets about the universe. But of course, there's also the conspiracy side. Is this really just an ordinary rock? Or could it be a message sent by someone out there? If it were up to you, which would you believe? Let's go back for a second. This isn't the first time we've had a visitor from the stars. In 2017, astronomers discovered an object called Oumuamua. The name comes from Hawaiian and means the first messenger. Its shape was long, thin, and really strange. It didn't look like a comet. It didn't look like an asteroid either. It was so unusual that some scientists even asked, could this be a probe sent by aliens? That idea made headlines all around the world. 2 years later, in 2019, we had our second guest, Borisov. This one felt a bit more familiar. It behaved like a classic comet. It had a tail. It was made of ice and dust. But here's the catch. It wasn't from our solar system either. It had come from somewhere else, another star. And now we meet our third visitor, 3I/ATLAS. Thanks to the first two, we now know one thing for sure. Yes, these kinds of objects are real. Chunks of other star systems really can break off, travel across insane distances, and pass right by us. Think about it. Oumuamua left us with a mystery. Borisov felt more familiar, but ATLAS, it might hold clues from both. It looks ordinary, but it might hide some surprises. And here's the big question. Is this just cosmic coincidence? Or is someone actually sending them? Don't forget to subscribe and like the video so you won't miss more stories like this. Now, let's get back to the main story. It was the start of July 2025. In Hawaii, the Atlas telescope system was scanning the sky when it noticed something unusual. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary comet. But once scientists ran the numbers, everything changed. Its orbit was completely different. It didn't match anything born inside our solar system. Instead, it had what's called a hyperbolic orbit. That means it's just passing through and won't stay. In other words, this object definitely came from another star. This became the third interstellar visitor in history. And it was named after the telescope that found it, 3I/ATLAS. The I stands for interstellar. The 3 shows it's the third one we've ever seen. But the mystery isn't solved yet. Is Atlas like Borisov, a classic comet made of ice and dust? Or is it more like Oumuamua, strange, unique, and puzzling? We don't know for sure, but the early guess is that it has an icy, comet-like body. Think about it. As we look up at the night sky, pieces of other star systems might be silently drifting past us. They may even carry messages about the wider universe. And here's the most exciting part. If scientists can study Atlas closely enough, we might, for the first time ever, examine molecules, minerals, or maybe even organic materials that came from another star system. And that would be a giant step in the search for life in space. Now let's move to the more colorful side of the story. Because whenever a mysterious object shows up in the sky, conspiracy theories are never far behind. And Atlas is no exception. Some people say, this isn't just a comet. It could actually be a probe from another civilization. Sounds familiar, right? Back in 2017, when Oumuamua was discovered, some scientists suggested the same thing. In fact, a Harvard astrophysicist even argued it looked more like alien tech than a natural rock. Now, that same question is being asked about ATLAS. Could it really be possible? Think about it this way. If we humans can send out spacecraft like Voyager and Pioneer beyond our solar system, then maybe another civilization could do the same, sending probes our way. And maybe they've already passed by without us noticing. But there are even wilder theories. Some claim Atlas might be a signal or a scout sent ahead of something bigger to come. Almost like an interstellar message saying, we're here. Of course, scientists are cautious. All the data so far points to ATLAS being a natural comet-like object. But let's be honest, these kinds of theories grab people's attention because deep down, we're all asking the same thing. What if it's true? Imagine one day a telescope tracks an object like this, and it turns out to be a massive alien ship. It would feel like living in a Hollywood movie. And after that, nothing on Earth would ever be the same again. But let's come back down to Earth for a moment. Because beyond the theories, there's a lot of real science we can learn from ATLAS. Studying objects like this gives us a chance to understand how planets, stars, and solar systems form. They're like time capsules, carrying material that could be billions of years old. Think about it. This object may have been traveling through space long before Earth even existed. And now, by sheer chance, it has crossed our path. Astronomers will use every tool they can, telescopes, spectrographs, and computer models, to study what Atlas is made of, how fast it's moving, and what kind of story it carries with it. And here's the exciting part. The more we learn about these visitors, the closer we get to answering one of humanity's oldest questions. Are we alone in the universe? Because if interstellar objects are common, that means our solar system isn't isolated at all. It's part of a much bigger, constantly moving cosmic neighborhood. And who knows? Maybe one day we'll catch something that's more than just a rock. Something that proves we're not the only ones out here. So, what should we take away from all this? Atlas isn't just another space rock. It's a messenger from deep space, a reminder that our solar system is not locked away or protected. It's wide open to the universe. Some people will see that as exciting, others as unsettling. But either way, it's a wake-up call. We're part of a much larger story, and we're only just starting to read the first few pages. So let me ask you this. What if tomorrow we discovered an interstellar object that wasn't natural, but artificial? What if it turned out to be a probe, sent by another civilization? Would we be ready for that? Would humanity come together, or would fear take over? These are the kinds of questions that discoveries like ATLAS force us to ask. And whether you see it as science, mystery, or even a bit of a cosmic thriller, one thing's for sure: the universe is far more alive, far more surprising than most of us ever imagine. So, keep your eyes on the skies, because you never know what's coming next.